I was listening to a podcast today, and the strength and conditioning or the sports science coach was talking about the importance of apps and how you can use apps to monitor athletes and ultimately to do things such as preventing injuries or recognizing an injury earlier so that you can have an intervention. And so he talked about a common situation, a player who, comes to a coach after a period of time and says, hey, my leg hurts or something like that. And the coach goes, well, how long has it hurt? And the player says, 4 or 5 weeks, which happens. And then the coach goes, well, why didn't you tell me? Now it's too late. Now you're injured. Now you're going to miss 6 weeks or months or whatever the case may be. And so the sports scientist was talking about how you can use apps. And so by tracking players, and monitoring players through different technological, ideas and maybe even RPEs and different measures of monitoring athletes, you can identify these injuries earlier before they become a true problem. And as I was listening to this, I thought that the need for an application to do this, as opposed to a coach being able to see and do this on his own, is indicative of a problem in the culture. And in two ways. One, the societal culture that we live in, and then two, potentially within the team. So from a society standpoint, we look at injuries and nagging injuries and things like that, and our natural reaction is, just play through it. You need to be tougher, stop complaining so much, things of this nature. Especially an injury where there wasn't an impact or something didn't visibly happen. A player goes up for a layup and gets undercut and lands wrong. That's something we acknowledge, that injury. But just, a little bit of tightness in the hamstring or a little bit of knee pain, play through it, be tougher. These are things that, whether explicitly or implicitly, we're told from a young age. And so I think that impacts. And so if, an app is necessary to overcome that kind of societal pressure, then I guess it's a good thing. I would suggest that maybe we need to do a better job of, teaching athletes the difference between an injury and slight discomfort, so that we don't have these kind of deep-rooted societal issues of just trying to tough through an injury. Then from a team standpoint, I think, a team culture, I think a coach needs to have that kind of trust with athletes that the athlete feels comfortable coming and talking to the coach. So rather than waiting until it's an injury, the coach can recognize a problem. He's not playing as well, or he looks tired. I'm going to talk to that player. Hey, what's up? Are you sleeping well? Everything good at home? You eating right? You drinking? You look tired, you look like, you're kind of favoring one leg. Part of this is, I was listening to another podcast after that with Kelly Starrett, and that's one of the things that he talked about with as being kind of an indication of a great coach is a coach who has that eye to diagnose something or to notice issues with movement. And so hopefully, as coaches gain experience, they can see the difference between an athlete performing well and an athlete who may be struggling, and then can approach it conversationally, and again, not allow it to continue on to become a serious injury. But the second part of that kind of culture or trust and relationship is that if you really have a trusting, good relationship with players, the players should feel comfortable coming to you and saying, hey, I'm just not feeling, I feel something in my leg. I think I need to take it easy today, or I think I need a day off. And so I think when I coach, I think I tend to have that good relationship with athletes, and they know that they can talk to me, and I'm not going to believe that if they're saying that their leg hurts, that they're just trying to get out of training. I believe that people are good, and so if and I believe that players really want to improve. So if a player comes to me and tells me that they're hurting, then I trust them, and we take it easier. We find a way to work around the injury or give them something else to do, or whatever the case may be. So I think this is an issue, and if apps can take care of the issue, or make it easier for coaches, great. But I think it's something that if we're having to rely on technology, I think we're not excelling as coaches. I think from a societal standpoint, we need to get rid of this. You just have to tough through everything until we have a serious injury. And from coaching standpoint, we need to develop that trusting relationship between players, where players feel comfortable talking to coaches, coaches feel comfortable talking to players. And we can figure these things out before a small problem becomes a big problem.